We're now going to jump into the New Testament, and we're going to look at some passages from the New Testament from its beginning all the way to its end. I want you to notice how these dots connect all the way back through what we read in 2 Maccabees as just a representative passage of what is going on with God's people in difficult times in the intertestamental period and back into the Old Testament. So let's take a look first of all at what Jesus has to say in the Gospel of John. He says, "Remember the word that I said to you, a slave is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they're also going to persecute you." Now, this is not a passage that's real popular to be read in church or in Bible studies on YouTube videos today. I'll grant you that. Well, that's one reason why we're willing to do the heavy lifting and go ahead and say exactly what Jesus says. And that is, a slave isn't greater than his master. And if they persecuted Jesus, they're going to persecute us as well. Guys, don't be surprised when that happens. That's part of what we signed up for here. And if it was done to Jesus, then it's certainly going to go downstream and hit us from time to time as well. Well, the question would be, at least with respect to the current issue we're addressing, well, why would God ever allow that? Great question. And again, the Bible never completely, authoritatively, here's the end all, the download on this, and this covers every situation. But the Bible does pull back the curtain and allow us to look in at several major junctures, and we're going to try to connect those dots today before we're done in this study. Let's look again at what Jesus says in John 16. "These things I've spoken to you, that in me you may have peace." In the middle of all of this, God has promised that if we'd abide in Him, we would continue to have that. God is going to give His people peace in the midst of the storm. Then Jesus says, it's a very realistic statement, summary of the kind of world that we live in. "In the world you have tribulation, but take courage, I have overcome the world." And so what Jesus is saying here is, this is a part of the world that we live in. You're going to have pushback, difficulty, struggles, setbacks, failures even, sickness, war, disease. These things are a part of the fallen world that we live in, that we live and move and have our being in. There is no escaping it. Now, if you listen to certain Christian leaders, you listen to certain approaches to living the Christian life, you're going to get, hey, if you just sign on to this, man, Jesus is going to pay off all your debts. He's going to fix your marriage. Your kids are going to get right. Everything is going to be that car that's sitting out there that's broken in your driveway. All of a sudden, miraculously, that thing is going to turn around and work. All your debts are going to be paid. You're going to have money in the bank. Let the good times roll. What I'm here to say is, if you looked at the entirety of the Bible, of God's Word, that's not exactly the picture that is painted. Where those guys get that from, well, that's on them. But what we're trying to do is reflect the balance of God's Word. And when Jesus speaks, He is a realist, and He tells it exactly like it is. And in this passage, and lots of others as well, again, this is just representative, He's willing to say, hey, you're going to have some struggles. You're going to have some tough times. You're going to have some persecution. The question is, how do we respond to those difficult times? Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our videos. If you're benefiting from the content that you're receiving from them, please make sure that you're following us on Facebook and that you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you never miss a thing. While you're at it, share our content with your friends and family. Encourage them to follow us as well. Thanks for helping us to reach as many as we can with a powerful message of God's Word in its original context.